Hello and welcome back to goldstocktrades.com. Today we have a returning guest with us, James Anderson. James is CEO of NuLegacy Gold Corporation, which can be traded as NUG on the TSX Venture and as NULGF on the OTC. Thanks, James, for being here with us today.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, Jeff.
Before we get into some of the recent success you're having with NuLegacy Gold, let's discuss some of the recent developments that have taken place. We saw last week a huge spike in gold. It was up at $100 in one day after the British voted to leave the EU. What do you think is going on here? What are the long-term implications on what's going here for the price of gold and the junior mining sector?
Yeah, although it was quite a spike in gold, I think in the short term, anything could happen. There are so many cross currents out there that it's really tough to gauge if, for instance, weakness in the British pound could lead to further strength in the U.S. dollar, which could theoretically lead to a weakness in a dollar-denominated gold price. So in the short term, I don't think anybody really knows exactly what's going to happen. But in the medium to long term, I think the implications here are actually quite easy to discern. Britain voted to leave the EU because they consider the continent to be a failed socialist political experiment. So the nations of Europe, and importantly, most of those European nations use the euro. So they are uniformly bankrupt. Even the stronger ones like Germany and France, they've all got debt to GDP ratios of about 100%. So ironically, this move is not going to help the British economy. So you can expect additional weakness in the pound, additional quantitative easing, both from the euro, which has quantitative easing ongoing, and additional quantitative easing in Britain now, I think. Certainly 0 to negative interest rates. So all of this, in my estimation, simply leads to the continued destruction in the value of paper currencies around the world. And if we continue to have that, it's going to provide for the continuation in the relative strength in gold and the continuation of a bull market in gold for the next number of years.
And a bull market in gold may lead to even a bigger bull market in the junior gold miners. And let's talk about your company, NuLegacy, which since the end of January is up over 300%. Very exciting time for NuLegacy Gold over the past 6 months. Can you give our listeners an update on everything that you and your team have accomplished, both from a technical perspective on the ground in the Cortez Trend, Nevada, and also from a sponsorship perspective?
Yeah, for sure, and I appreciate that opportunity to speak to your listeners about it. Our stock is sharply higher since the beginning of the year. So are lots of not only the junior companies, but the senior companies. So there's a number of senior companies that are up 300% from the bottom as well. But I think with ours, there's a number of real big fundamental changes that have happened over the last 6 or 8 months. And, that has contributed to the market re-rating our company with a higher market cap. We've been very busy positioning the company for this next phase of the gold bull market. The first thing we did was to complete our earn-in from Barrick Gold to a 70% interest in the Iceberg deposit, and we got official confirmation of that on December 23rd of last year, which was a great Christmas present for all of us. So when we then approached Barrick in the first couple months of this year about purchasing their residual 30% interest in the deposit, and we've got a fantastic relationship with Barrick. One of our directors, Alex Davidson, was with Barrick for many years as head of worldwide exploration and corporate development. So Barrick saw the benefit of taking a block of our shares in exchange for their 30% interest. And that, of course, leaves us with 100% of the deposit. And that really changes things in terms of the way that the market views NuLegacy. It leaves our shareholders, obviously, with 100% of the deposit, but also with 100% of the upside of having 38 square miles of the Cortez Trend, which is, as you know, Jeb, is home to 3 of the biggest deposits in North America, ranging in size from 10 to 21 million ounces of gold. So the next thing we accomplished, Barrick was allowed to nominate a board member to our board of directors, and they nominated their head of global exploration, Rob Kretschmaroff, to our board, and that's been a huge help so far. We've been able to liaise with the Barrick exploration team in Elko, Nevada, and I think that that's going to provide benefits for us in terms of how we explore this ground going forward, for a long time. And then with 100% of the deposit, we undertook to attract another mining company to become a strategic investor in NuLegacy, and we found that partner in Oceana Gold. Oceana invested $6.6 million in NuLegacy, and they are now our largest shareholder with a 19.9% interest. So it's been a busy 6 or 8 months, and we're actively drilling here right now. So it's and we'll have lots more to say to your audience and to shareholders in the weeks and months to come.
Could you also mention, you also had a recent institutional investor, is that correct? A fund?
Yeah, that's right. One of the largest and, best thought of New York-based gold funds, Tocqueville Gold Fund, bought a block of our shares in the market, and they now own about 8% of our company, 19.5 million shares. And Tocqueville is a fund that I'd been discussing our company and our iceberg deposit with for a number of years during the bear market phase. They just didn't see fit to invest in a smaller exploration company. But with the change in the market and with the change in NuLegacy, us having the money to explore the thing properly, having 100% of it, all of these various changes that I just mentioned, that was, I think we were able to check off all the boxes for Tocqueville. So we spoke and found them a block of shares, and they are now a very significant shareholder of our company as well.
That's good to hear. So what's NuLegacy's financial position going into this 2016 exploration drilling program that's currently underway?
Right. Well, we put out a news release a couple of weeks ago detailing the fact that some of our warrant holders had exercised $1.6 million worth of warrants. So together with that money and the money that we received from Oceana and money that we already had in the treasury at the start of the year, we currently have about $8 million in the bank. And really, that's the best financial position that the company's ever been in. And we're very proud of that fact. Coming out of the type of crippling bear market that we've come out of, for our exploration company to be in the best financial position that it's ever been in, I think that says a lot about what investors think about this gold deposit.
Yeah, that's amazing, James. Let's talk about this year's drilling program that's currently underway. How big is it? What are some of the costs, the budget? What are you trying to do here with this drilling program?
So this year's drilling program is going to pick up right where we left off last year. As you know, we had a lot of successes with our drilling last year. So we're going to drill about 10,000 meters. That's about 33,000 feet in total. It'll be roughly 40 drill holes. We've budgeted $2.1 million US for the program. So 80% of those expenditures is going to be put toward expanding the footprint of the iceberg deposit itself. So we'll be stepping out from known mineralization and from some of the excellent drill results that we encountered last year. And about 20% of our expenditures will be directed to wildcat drilling on either geochemical or geophysical targets on this property. So remember, we've got a 38 square mile tract of land to explore. So it's entirely possible that in this part of Nevada, we may well end up with a second gold deposit somewhere on the ground, because all of this area is so prospective for gold exploration.
James, as we conclude this interview, what can listeners expect from NuLegacy Gold Corporation over the next year or two? What are some of the visions that management has?
Well, so much of gold exploration is drilling holes in the ground, so we're going to be doing a lot of that. We'll be able to publish our first drill results of the season in about 3 weeks' time, and then we'll be able to deliver drill results to the market every 6 weeks or so after that, right through till November. So we'll continue to grow this gold deposit, and I think a growing gold deposit in Nevada with the type of gold macroeconomic background that we've got, it will be very, very helpful for our shareholders. We don't know how big this deposit's going to be yet, but Barrick's deposits in the area are some of the biggest gold deposits anywhere. So that's what we are continuing to work towards. And after this year's drilling, we'll commission a maiden 43-101 compliant resource estimate, which we'll publish probably in the first quarter of next year.
James Anderson, CEO of NuLegacy Gold Corp. Thank you so much for being here today, for giving us an update. Congratulations on some of the recent achievements that you have made, that NuLegacy Gold has made, which can be traded as NUG on the TSX Venture and as NULGF on the OTC.
Thanks so much, Jeff. It's always great to be here with you and your guests and your listeners.